I know it's been a while. Hey, how you doing? Zone of the Enders 2 has finally come to a platform that can hold it at a constant 60 frames per second. And good God, I can finally play the game as it was originally meant to be played. You know, 15 years later. Over here in Europe, we had our television stuck at 50 Hz, so we were unable to experience the game at its full potential. Furthermore, in this lonely little corner of Europe, finding a copy was absolute hell, something I never managed. So this little me decided to play through the demo he found in one of those demo discs over and over and over again. And I fucking loved every second of it. Then the remaster came out, which I bought. But now it finally came to the PC, ported by, wait, Z.O.E Games? Hold on a minute, isn't that the company that does all those popular mobile games? Am I being tricked here? Am I gonna play Grand Blue Fantasy again? What the fuck? I really don't want to play Grand Blue again. Running this game at 60 shouldn't even be impressive, considering it's a goddamn port of a fucking PS2 game, but after the original release of the remaster for the PS3, there's nothing that wouldn't surprise me. That being said, I couldn't really care because the original still looks good despite being more than a decade old thanks to its stylistic choice. Instead of using 3D models, they decided to have the cutscenes be completely done by hand-drawn animation, which allows it to stand the test of time much better.
Loud. Man, we had a great time that night.
20 to touchdown. Can't wait for the new season.
In short, they're anime cutscenes. But who even gives a shit about this goddamn thing? Let's talk about the gameplay.
Good morning. Ready for combat? This is Detached Backup Battle Unit, ADA. Do you request control instructions?
This game. Oh boy. This game is an absolute fucking blast to play. As an action, beat 'em up.
Much sexier than you.
Character action.
Things always gotta be complicated.
Listen, whatever the fuck you autists want to call it. A game. It lacks the depth found in games like Devil May Cry, but what it does offer is something completely unique that no other game has ever been able to match to this day. The feeling of being in a superpowered mech suit that is able to outmaneuver its opponents with sheer mobility. And good God, are you fast? There is never a moment where you want to be just standing around. Enemies are fast and they hit hard, especially the ones that come up later on. You cannot take them lightly. To help you along, you'll unlock more and more sub-weapons which are now much more easily accessible. These may vary in utility and some of them may be just fucking amazing. Later on in the game, you'll unlock a sub-weapon that picks up this game's fast-paced combat and just turns it even faster. It just keeps getting crazier and crazier. This all works thanks to the camera, which keeps you locked into a target, zooming in when you get closer. Considering that you are so fast in this game, it would be easy to lose track of yourself. But thanks to having a target always focused in, it allows you to keep your bearings. It's amazing how a game released in 2001 was able to understand the importance of a lock-on feature. And yet, more than a decade later, we have games in the same genre being released where the devs purposely admit that they didn't add a lock-on feature because it was unnecessary. I know, all I'm doing is beating a dead horse by now. Everyone has already trashed the DMC reboot, but hey, I haven't done it yet, so let me do it right now. DMC2, never ever.
Cheer up, crew cut. You taking notes?
You can see this working during boss fights, as when you get closer to your target, the camera will shift to the side to allow the player to have a better view of what the target is doing. This is something that DMC5 is now implementing, and that one isn't even released yet. Z.O.E 2 has been out for fucking, what, a decade and a half? Speaking of boss fights, yeah, they're pretty alright, I guess. Some of them are pretty crazy, while others are more like Metal Gear Solid boss fights, where you have to figure out how to deal with your enemy. That's not to say that there isn't skill involved. If you know what you're doing, you can extend your combos and take them out much quicker. I think overall, fighting multiple enemies is more fun, especially on multiple playthroughs. Not every boss fight is amazing, but then you get to Anubis. This guy, he's an absolute chad. He's that guy Ada told you not to worry about. First time you meet him, and this faggot is already zero shifting like a madman and leaving you in the dust. I mean, just look at that bulge. This man is so fast he doesn't have time to put his tongue inside his spacesuit. Shit is staying on the outside and he's going to rock it. How can you even stop him? Family, if this shit isn't up your alley and you don't think this fight looks cool, then I'm sorry, but it appears you have been affected by a fatal disease also known as the gay. Soundtrack is amazing and looks to be untouched. You've been listening to it throughout this entire video, so if you like what you're hearing, well, there you go. Though some sound effects have changed, and I'm not really sure on how to feel about them.
Do you realize how many of my comrades died back there?
Dingo!
Do you realize how many of my comrades died back there?
Dingo!
This release also lets you use a VR set in which you can play the game. In VR! Yup! If you're wondering if you're missing out on the first game and why they didn't bundle it with this one, well, it's just not very good.
Father,
I detect no human activity.
you mean everyone is dead?
That is a possibility, but it is more natural to assume the residents were previously evacuated.
Damn it.
The entire first game is a huge fetch quest and the combat's still in its infancy. It's not fully realized and as such just ends up feeling rather unfinished. Your main character Leo, constantly whines and complains about every little thing while being scared of everything that moves, even though he has the biggest dick in the military. Quite literally.
That's why we call it the cockpit.
Z.O.E 2 though is an absolute beauty of a short game. Kojima's best game to date, primarily because he wasn't directing it. Despite its short length, I could replay this game forever and not get bored with it. It's such a good game, such an innocent one. It's truly one of those games where you can feel that everything just went together. And that's precisely why it's still untouched. An absolute gem of a game, which is exactly why you shouldn't buy it, and why I only played the demo of it. Again. Twice. There is no point in buying this game. The original developers are no longer at Konami, and this release doesn't even give credit to the original team. Yes, that's how salty Konami still is after all this. They're such a shit show of a company that giving them money should be a bad thing in and of itself. Paying for this game is only inviting us to get a disappointing sequel. Oh boy, I cannot wait for Son of the Enders fucking survive. Though I was initially praising the port, it is a bit messy. Audio was way too low, and for some people it starts crackling and causes them to bleed. Character interactions aren't working properly, and they buckled out of the dual audio promise. There also seems to be some problems with the aspect ratio stretching things out. Since this is Konami, I doubt the patch is ever gonna get released for this. Also de novo, that goes without saying. So just wait for a crack. That's right, I'm endorsing piracy on this channel. Call the YouTube cops, they don't give a fuck about someone as low as me. Having Son of the Enders turn into another pachinko machine for the Yakuza is a fate worse than death. The franchise was short-lived, but it gave us a pretty fantastic video game. And if that's how this series dies off, then at least they can't trample over its memory.
Stop it.
What?
Still you insult me. Don't even consider it. If you save me, I will fight you again, and I will kill you. I'll kill the people that are precious to you first, and then you. And you won't be the last. I'll continue to kill even after that.
But you'll...
I was beaten by such a naive brat.
Viola.
I have lost everything. I survived many battles. I lost my parents and my lover. I don't have the functions of a woman now. Even then, I have continued to live. Right. To survive was the only purpose to life. To survive is my life. In battle, there's a slight gap between life and death. Those who were killing were themselves dead a moment later. I killed innocent children and even my comrades to save myself. Soaking in their blood and eating their flesh, I managed to live this long. It is not a matter of my luck. It was only my vibrant power that kept me alive. I survived through my own strength. You ruined it for me. Who the hell are you? What am I inferior to you in? Have you ever experienced any hardship in your life? Your very existence itself denies mine. Time to end it. Finally, I am finished. My ill-fated days forever over. Boy, will you answer one stupid question?
Yes. What is it?
Was I strong?
It's hard to believe that I'm still alive.
Is that so? Thank you.
The target is disintegrating.
Viola?
Beautiful. You knew how beautiful the stars really are.
Viola!
Rodham. At last, I can be with you.
Viola!
The target has ceased functioning. Confirmed.
Well, this kills the hiatus. There was a guy on GitHub trying to make a version of PSX2 to make the game run better, but he hasn't updated in a very long time, so you know what that means? That means he's dead, and he's not coming back. In regards to this channel though, I'm gonna stop making these types of videos for a while. Trust me, I'm only gonna get busier. Plus, I'm starting to get burned out on writing. This doesn't mean I'm gonna leave the channel completely dead though. I'm just gonna make simpler videos like the ones I used to do before. I hope this helps the channel not being dead for over 6 months. This doesn't mean that I'm not gonna do this types of videos ever again. I will. Just don't expect them soon. I have another one in the oven, but that one needs to be restructured. I have over 8 pages worth of script and I think it all sucks now. Plus, Article 13 passed, and we still have no idea how that's gonna affect us in Europe. I might actually have to bomb the EU Parliament. Anyway, I've been going on for far too long. I'll see you guys later when I see you. Take care.